Greetings, greetings, greetings. Today is September 27th, 2019, and this is another lesson in Weaponized Logic regarding a name. And we just want to start by giving the praise and the honor to Yahuwah, our Father, and our King, Yahuwshuwa Ha'Mashiyach, or Messiah. Okay, and so I want to jump into it because, you know, these joints are small, these 10 minutes. I call them snack food. So look, the names that we are given carry a particular purpose and character along with those names. For an example, Ham means black. And when you look at the people of Ham, what do you see? I got a friend that would say rich melanated people, Kush. Okay, when you look at the Kushites or the people of the Sudan, rich melanated people. So understand, and these are just kind of minute examples, but just to grab the understanding that our names carry a particular purpose and a character that is attached to that name. So this is why it's important that we name our children with purpose, with meaning, because this is the thing that they will be called. Their meaning and their character is so intertwined in their name. It is in fact that in which they are called their entire life. For example, my name, Lawrence, to be laurelly crowned, to receive accolades, to receive recognition. That happens. Justin, okay, is justice, right? It means, you know, one who is a person. For me, I love justice. I love the underdog. James, trickster. It comes from Yaakov, right? Jacob. Trickster, supplanter, usurper. Yeah, right, okay. Cade, battler, right? So these are the things that are associated with the names that I was given. These are the very things that make up my character. And I would almost go so far as to say that the meaning of your name also makes up your character, because our words create the foundations of our reality. They create the framework for our reality. Life tends to fill in the details. So if you call a person, and I know I've used this analogy before, but as parents, as gatekeepers of our children, if you call your child stupid, right? Better example. If you call your child a kid, right? A kid is a baby goat. The character and the character associated with a goat is a rebellious animal, right? So keep in mind, we are the gatekeepers of our children. By calling our children kids, we are invoking the character of a rebellious animal upon our children. And so no wonder why this generation is such in a state of rebellion. There's a lot of factors that play. I get that. But what does not help is that we reinforce the negative framework of a rebellious generation upon our children every day. And so I say all of this really to say that you cannot separate a person's character and purpose from their name. They are intertwined in a type of symbiotic relationship. They are intertwined in a type of relationship that cannot be separated, least they don't align to be the same thing. You cannot take, let's just go to the name of Yahuwshuwa, okay? I want to take some time here. Let's go to the name of Yahuwshuwa. Now, Muslims will call the son Isa, right? Christians will call the son Jesus. The son was Hebrew. He walked here in the earth as a Hebrew man who had a Hebrew name. His name is Yahuwshuwa, okay? And even as revealed in Zechariah 6, chapter 6, 11, and 12. We're not going to go there to watch some of the previous lessons, watch some of the previous weaponized logics, okay? But the name of the son is Yahuwshuwa. His name literally means, I am Yahuwah's salvation for those who cry out, okay? Now, the moment you try to take Yahuwshuwa, the moment you try to take the characteristics of Yahuwshuwa and apply them to Jesus, you won't line up. It won't line up, because Jesus does not mean I am Yahuwah's salvation for those who cry out. Jesus, in fact, doesn't even have a literal meaning. It literally traces you back to the Latin name. Jesus is the anglicized name that traces you back to a Latin name, Jesus, right? Which then traces you back to a Greek name, Jesus, which then traces you back to the wrong Hebrew name, Yeshua. Okay, all of these names do not align with the prophecy in Zechariah chapter 6, verses 11 and 12. Neither do they align with the purpose of that name, Yahuwshuwa. I am Yahuwah's salvation for those who cry out. You cannot separate a person's name from his character or their purpose. Even if you take the names from Adam to Noah, it aligns with the very purpose of the master. Okay, these names have purpose. This is why it's important that we do not call our children any old kind of name, because it is, watch this, the thing in which you call your children, the things in which you call anybody, but specifically our children, when you speak, like I said, your words will lay the foundations of your character. Will lay the framework of your reality. Your words will lay the framework of your reality. If you call your child a name that has no purpose, or a name that has a purpose that does not align with the master's use of that vessel, watch what happens. They internalize that thing because you're the gatekeeper. You are calling them that name, okay? Their children will accept what you give them for all intent and purposes. They will accept that. So that you calling them a thing over periods of time, you simply reinforce the framework of that reality in which they believe, they internalize, and then life begins to fill in those details. Call your children a name of purpose. Stop calling them kids. Stop reinforcing the framework of a rebellious animal upon your children. Does that make sense? And so I just want to touch briefly in these last, 2 minutes and some odd seconds, why the name of the Son has been stripped from our understanding. Turn to Acts 4. Turn to Acts 4, and we're going to start at verse 16. Saying, what shall we do to these men? Saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. But that it spread no further among the people, let us straitly threaten them that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. Okay, verse 18. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahuwshuwa. Now we see that name, that false name, Jesus, but we know that that was not the Son's name. The letter J being created in 1524 by a man named Gian Giorgio Trezino. Watch previous lessons for that full breakdown and understanding. We know that that name is Yahuwshuwa, but we have a conspiracy from the very beginning to teach people a different name, to command the people coming in the name of Yahuwshuwa. Why? Because that name, Philippians 2 will tell you, is above every name. Acts 4:12 lets you know that that name is where salvation lies. That salvation is in no other name under heaven given among men. This is where we must be saved at, in his name. And you cannot separate the character and the purpose from Yahuwshuwa, from that name. His name means I am Yahuwah's salvation for those who cry out. That is the purpose that he brought, the salvation to the people. This is his purpose. His name solidified, and his character brought to pass that in which his purpose from the Father was, to bring salvation to the people. Yahuwshuwa is Yahuwah's salvation for those who cry out. Your name carries your purpose, and you cannot separate the two and keep those two things intact. It don't work like that. So in the name of the Father, Yahuwah, and in the name of Yahuwshuwa, our King, our salvation, our rest. Shalom.